For generations there was one truth everyone knew about ground war. You do not move faster than your supply lines. You do not choose the battlefield. And you do not appear, strike, and vanish before the enemy can react. Armies marched. They slogged. They bled for terrain, one hill, one river crossing at a time. In Vietnam, the North Vietnamese Army and the Viet Cong built their entire doctrine around that certainty. Dense jungles slowed everything. Narrow trails choked vehicles. An enemy force could be tracked, fixed, surrounded, and destroyed if you were patient enough. That was the rule. Vietnamese commanders believed that if American units entered the jungle, they would move like every army before them. Slowly. Predictably. Along roads and rivers that could be ambushed. And for a while that belief held. Then in 1965, a new sound began echoing over the Central Highlands. A chopping roar. A mechanical thunder that did not belong to the jungle. And in one valley called Ia Drang, one man proved that the rules no longer applied. You are Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore. You are 43 years old. A West Point graduate. A Korean War veteran. A paratrooper who believes deeply in preparation, discipline, and taking responsibility for every man under your command. You have been training for this moment for years, long before Vietnam ever reached the evening news. At Fort Benning, Moore helped write the doctrine for a radical idea: air mobility. Infantry not tied to trucks or roads but lifted by helicopters, UH-1 Hueys, able to land anywhere a rotor could clear the ground. Most armies treated helicopters as support tools. Medevac, recon, light transport. You believed they could be something more. In the fall of 1965, that theory faces its first true test. American intelligence detects major North Vietnamese units crossing into South Vietnam near the Cambodian border. This is no guerrilla skirmish. These are regular army regiments, battle-hardened, disciplined, and confident on their own ground. The U.S. Army decides to strike first. Your unit, the 1st Battalion, 7th Cavalry, receives the mission. You will be inserted by helicopter into the Ia Drang Valley. Your objective is to find the enemy and force contact. You study the maps. The landing zones are small clearings carved out of elephant grass that towers 6 feet high. You choose one and name it Landing Zone X-Ray. You know the risks. Helicopters can only carry 7 to 10 men at a time. That means your battalion will arrive in waves. If the enemy hits you before the last lift lands, you will be outnumbered. Still, you accept the mission. Because if air mobility works here, deep in enemy territory, it changes everything. And if it fails, it proves the jungle still decides who lives and who dies. November 14, 1965. The helicopters lift off in tight formation. Rotor blades pound the air. The smell of fuel mixes with red dust. Inside the Hueys, soldiers grip rifles, knuckles white, sweat already soaking their uniforms. You land at X-ray at 10:48 a.m. The first wave jumps out. The grass is taller than a man. Visibility is measured in feet, not yards. The perimeter is thin. Too thin. Almost immediately, shots crack from the trees. Not sporadic fire. Disciplined fire. Within minutes, you know what you found. 3 North Vietnamese regiments. Nearly 2,000 men. And you have barely 80 soldiers on the ground. You call for the next lift. Then the next. Helicopters come in under fire, skids brushing grass, engines screaming. Pilots refuse to break formation even as bullets snap past their cockpits. A platoon moves toward a dry creek bed. The jungle explodes around them. Lieutenant Henry Herrick's men are cut off. Surrounded. Radios go dead. You can hear the firing but you cannot see them. The enemy attacks in waves. Bugles sound from the tree line, a chilling signal meant to intimidate. Mortar rounds thump into the clearing. The ground shakes. Shrapnel rips through elephant grass. You call artillery danger close. 100 meters. Then 75. You feel the concussion in your chest as American shells crash just outside your perimeter. Dirt rains down. Men press their faces into the earth. Night falls. The firing does not stop. At 2 a.m., the North Vietnamese launch a coordinated assault. Hundreds of soldiers charge through the darkness, firing AK-47s, screaming orders. Flares turn the night white. Machine guns overheat. Medics crawl through fire to reach the wounded. Ammunition runs low. For a moment, just one, you wonder if this is where the experiment ends. If this is where air mobility dies in the grass of Ia Drang. But the helicopters keep coming. At dawn, attack helicopters sweep in, rockets slamming into enemy formations. B-52 strikes are called in just miles away. Resupply Hueys drop ammo crates under fire. The enemy expected Americans to dig in and wait. Instead, you fight like you arrived from the sky, fast, violent, relentless. After 3 days, the North Vietnamese break contact. They leave behind hundreds of dead. So do you? What the North Vietnamese command realizes after Ia Drang is deeply unsettling. American units are no longer tied to roads. They no longer need to fight their way forward mile by mile. They can appear anywhere. A battalion can land behind you, on your flank, in your rear. And when you mass to destroy it, it lifts off and strikes somewhere else. Helicopters turn terrain into a weapon. From Ia Drang onward, the war changes. Air assault operations spread across Vietnam. Fire bases appear overnight. Enemy supply routes are hunted from above. Vietnamese commanders adapt, but the psychological shock remains. The jungle is no longer protection. Hal Moore leaves the valley with 79 men killed and over 120 wounded. He carries their names for the rest of his life. He goes on to become a general. He never forgets Ia Drang. Many of the soldiers who survived would later say the same thing. The helicopters saved them. Not just by moving them, but by changing how they fought. Today, air mobility is taken for granted. But it was born in blood, rotor wash, and elephant grass. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state, and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Hal Moore and the men of the 1st Battalion 7th Cavalry do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered. We believe these stories of courage and sacrifice deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help ensure they aren't forgotten.